It's Karen from Divorce Workshop. Have another episode of Insights in Divorce, which is now available on YouTube, to just let you know. I'm going to invite our guest, Mary Ann Hughes. Today we're going to talk about the ideas of special needs kids during the holiday season, which is all coming up. So we're just waiting for Mary Ann to get on. And good morning.
Morning, Karen. How are you today?
Good. As usual, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So let's just start off, as usual, just give us a quick little bio.
Sure. So Mary Ann Hughes, my company Special Family Transitions. I'm a special needs divorce coach in Houston, Texas, but I help families everywhere. And I came into this field because I went through divorce myself. I've got 2 children on the autism spectrum and couldn't find resources to help when I was going through it. So I made it my mission to help other parents who have kids with different disabilities, whether it be autism, like my kids, or other complex needs, to help them get through the divorce process and share resources and information to support them and their family, whether it's through divorce or even things like we're going to talk about today, how to get through the holidays and things like that.
I think it's I just love your work because I think it's important, and I think it's such needed just to have resources for these people, right? Because it can feel very alone. So yeah, thank you for coming on. Anyway, so let's just start talking about, like, the holiday season is coming. I know you guys have coming up in 2 weeks from now, almost, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. So it's like back to back. So there's a lot going on. So do you want to start off with some of the concerns that happened during the holiday season with special needs children?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Happy to do that. So like you said, it's a busy time of year, and for our occasion, for our special video, I found some little Christmas glasses I thought I'd put on to get the holiday spirit going.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, like you said, it's not just Christmas. It's Thanksgiving. It could be any holiday, and there's parents feel so much stress. In terms of planning for their kids. How are they going to go out in public? How are they going to prepare their kids? How are their kids going to react? There's so many sensory stimulating type activities out there that some kids have a hard time with that. So some people tend to kind of dread or shy away from participating in the holidays and the festivities that normally we look forward to, but sometimes can be overwhelming for families and they're not sure how to approach them. So, I would say definitely look at it from your child's perspective. If it's too much to go into a loud, crowded mall at a busy peak time on Black Friday, or whatever it is, like we have in the US, then maybe that's not the best situation for you. Find a quiet time, maybe some off times, find some sensory friendly activities. So for instance, I know when I first started taking my son to see Santa, I thought, well, that's a thing that people do. We wanted to get our Santa photos. Oh my gosh, it was the biggest nightmare. He was crying. It was not an enjoyable experience. But what I learned is that there's sensory friendly Santas. There's sensory friendly events that you can go to that make it much more enjoyable and comfortable and welcoming to families who maybe need someone with a little bit more patience and time and understanding the child's perspective as well on that.
Yeah, because I suspect it can be very overwhelming. I mean, even I find Black Friday overwhelming, right? So it would make sense that they would as well. So is there challenges in buying gifts, or is that something that comes up?
Right, that's a great question because we typically want to buy all these presents for our kids, wrap them, have them look pretty, and have the child be excited to open them Christmas morning or whatever your tradition is. And a lot of times people get discouraged because that's not the case. Say you went through a lot of trouble, or people give gifts and they wrap them nicely. That child may have difficulty opening gifts. They may have fine motor challenges that make it difficult to do that. So what I found works better is to put things in gift bags. So that's one way to solve that problem. The other day I was reading about somebody who was having a birthday and they had all these presents and the child wasn't interested. So the next time they just had the presents sitting out without any wrapping, and they were much happier and were able to open them and enjoy the gifts that way. So you got to look at what your child, is is able to do. And even though you may like the experience of opening gifts, perhaps your child does not, and that becomes frustrating for them. And so, like you said, another question is, what do we get our kids? So a lot of times, even though a toy may say for ages 5 to 8, or older, depending on the age of your child, that may not be their functioning age. It may not be the kind of toys they're interested or able to play with or would enjoy. And so it's okay to get something that's made for maybe a younger child, or you think maybe my child's too young, but they're enjoying that. And so let them enjoy their childhood. Let them enjoy what is meaningful to them. For instance, I have a friend, her son now is in his 20s, and he still enjoys Thomas the Train and things like that. And so that's something we want to give our kids pleasure. I mean, we want to try to introduce them to other things maybe that they may find interesting and enjoyable, but don't take away the joy if that's what they're really into. Maybe find some different ways to play with them, perhaps regarding that. Maybe have other conversations around that. Make it maybe more something that they can translate in real life. But if that's something they enjoy, don't feel like they have to do what the other kids their age are doing by any means.
So what about, Thanksgiving dinners? They're big. They can be big. There can be a lot of family, right? Same with the Christmas dinners. They can be, it can be overwhelming, right? Does that ever have to shift or change, or do families have to get smaller? I guess it depends on the situation of each family, correct?
Right. It depends for sure. So what I would say, if you're invited to a family gathering, don't feel like you have to turn that down. Know that it may be difficult for your child or for you to manage for the entire time. So maybe go for part of the time, or maybe bring some activities that they can do while maybe you're socializing with other adults, because a lot of times the parents feel like they have to focus all the time on their kids, which granted they need a lot of attention, but maybe bring a helper, maybe another family member can take turns supporting and keeping an eye on the child while you're getting your food or socializing with people that you haven't maybe seen in a while, or even those that you just want to enjoy spending time with. And so that also brings to mind that some children or young adults with autism or different challenges may have some food sensitivities or preferences. So bring some of your own food, perhaps, or let the host or hostess know, this is what my child can't eat. Can you accommodate some of our dietary or preferences for my child? And that goes a long way too. But also bring your own snacks, just in case you're waiting a long time for dinner to be ready. We don't want people to be hungry, and that tends to get them hangry, as my son had to deal with, where he gets, he wants to eat, he wants to participate, but it's taking a really long time. So definitely have something to feed them, or snacks, or even bring something of your own. If it's like a potluck, or you're able to bring your own dish to an event, then definitely find something that's going to work for you and your child, in case they're not going to eat whatever is going to be available to them there.
It's a good point. Also, that brought up the thought of, when we're in this holiday season, routines are also kind of all over the place, right? So is there any way that can you prepare, or is that kind of come into a problem? Like, is there issues with that, with not being on routine and consistency?
Yeah, that's a big thing, is people, a lot of kids thrive on routine and kind of need that predictability, and it's something new and novel, they may have a hard time with that. So that's a great point, is we want to prepare our kids, and we can do that in different ways. You can create a social story, meaning just kind of put in there maybe pictures of family and events that are going to take place, so they kind of know what to expect and who they're going to see, things like that. It could be as simple as showing them on your phone, here's Aunt Sally or whoever we're going to be seeing that maybe they haven't seen for a long time. Another great way to do that is have them watch some Christmas shows that are available. I know when I was growing up, here comes Santa Claus coming to town and Frosty and all those things. Kind of share some of the traditions and things that we can expect from the holiday season. Not to say that we're going to, be that family and follow things exactly, but it kind of gives them an idea about some of the verbiage they might hear, some of the things that are out there. And definitely don't shy away from that. So whether it's books, whether it's videos, whether it's things you get from the library or stream on your own device at home, get them definitely to enjoy the holidays in terms of what's out there, some of the characters, you know, understanding maybe if you're, you know, if you want to introduce Santa Claus into your home, which is prevalent, you know, on the community and at schools, then, you know, have them maybe feel comfortable with that through explaining what that is and so on. And so I saw a post recently about, you know, when to share if a child is older about Santa maybe not being what they think they are, but let them enjoy it as long as they can. Just say maybe Santa has helpers or not, because that becomes a difficult conversation for some kids when they, you know, want to believe, and it's part of their tradition and celebration.
So I think I'm hearing then is preparing is the best route to take.
Right, preparing, especially like you said, if you're going to go to an event or you're going to go to a special function, let them know, okay, this is, we're going to go from this time to this time, so they can kind of, you know, keep track of that and keep you, you know, in line with that too, as a reminder. So you may see gentle reminders from your child, perhaps, before it escalates. So keep an eye on the subtle type of signs or showing you that maybe they're ready to go or getting close. Because the last thing you want is to have, you know, a situation which is difficult to handle, especially in public, and that becomes difficult for a lot of reasons. So, you know, prepare your child as much as you can. Respect their request to leave when it's been agreed to time that you've maybe previously talked about, but don't feel like you have to just be there for 5 minutes. Definitely, like I said, bring some other activities to keep them busy, so that you can enjoy and they can enjoy it. It may be difficult at first if it is loud, for instance. My son likes to wear ear protection headphones, and so you can do that to make it a more enjoyable experience for them. And kind of like we said about the malls and so on, there's so many wonderful activities during the holidays. There's, you know, light shows that you can walk through, and just even decorations. Even if it is too stimulating to be out in public, then you can have a nice drive in your own car to see the beautiful lights and decorations that are out there. And so we definitely enjoy that. It becomes a tradition for us to just take a nightly drive in our car to see the different neighborhoods and different lights, and that brings them a lot of joy too.
Yeah, and it's not loud. It's nice, and I like it too. We have one up the street here that we sometimes go to, and it's a lovely drive through, and it's beautiful to see. So that's a good point as well. Do you have any other ideas or tips about idea for this situation?
Yeah, so we don't want to overdo it too. We talked about gifts, so some people, you know, may think more is better. That's not necessarily the case. So maybe a few items that are going to be more useful to that child, whether it's sensory toys or things that are practical, maybe better than a whole lot of toys and a whole lot of presents that may be too much all at one time, or maybe spread them out over several days. You don't have to open everything at one time. And so I guess, you know, being a, you know, divorce, you know, topic touches a little bit on that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, you know, you may not have your children as you did in the past during the whole holiday season. So let them know it's okay. You know, do it. We don't want to stress them out, but hopefully they can enjoy the time with their other family, the other parent and their family, or whatever situation they're in. And so just because they may not be with you on a holiday doesn't mean you can't celebrate it before or after, and just know that they're loved no matter what and where they are.
Yeah, speaking of that, like we can touch on that a bit about co-parenting during the holidays. I mean, it's, as you said, there's, you know, for most people who are co-parenting, there's, you know, transitions between the holidays, whether, you know, so is there anything that, I know flexibility is also very important. I'm assuming that's like, it's the same, right? Like we all have to be flexible.
Right, different flexibility, and let them know, like we said about, you know, planning ahead, you know, which days are going to be with mom, which days are going to be with dad, so that they can expect that. And hopefully the other parent is going to celebrate in a way that helps that child enjoy that holiday. But you can have your own tradition. So not every holiday and every parent is going to celebrate in the same way. And you can create your own traditions, especially after divorce. Some people think we have to do it the way we did it when we were all together, but it's not the case. Maybe you want to take a trip. Maybe you want to enjoy a vacation. Maybe you want to do something different, and maybe open presents on Christmas Eve rather than Christmas Day, or whatever it might be. So that's okay. So just incorporate new ways of doing things, and maybe have the children help decorate the tree. I know my kids enjoy doing that. At one point on that, some people are concerned about the decoration, and some kids may be sensory seeking and may undress the tree when it's totally done. And so I found that it's helpful to not put the tree up too far ahead of time. I know some people
Good tip.
like to do it the day. Some people already have their trees up, which to me is really early, but some people like to do it right after Thanksgiving or whatever it is. For me, we found it was better, and the memories lasted longer for us when we actually decorated the tree and got their house ready closer to Christmas. That way, they can enjoy Thanksgiving as its own, and then Christmas. You don't have to worry about them taking all the ornaments off the tree. And then, use unbreakable ornaments, is a good tip too. People worry about their fragile decorations and so on. Just make it child friendly, like you would for a young child. Maybe your child is older, but they're still interested in touching things. And so we want them to enjoy it and not feel like everything is off limits. So we want to do it in a way that respects them, as well as brings in holiday cheer to your home.
Yeah, that's a really insightful tip too, right? So is there anything else with co-parenting like that you can think about, that anyone that's watching, that, with the holidays and is with flexibility we talked about, anything else you can think of?
Sure. So one thing that people maybe don't do or think to do is maybe have the child have a gift ready for the other parent.
Yeah.
And if you find it appropriate to do so, you could have a little something, and maybe the other parent will reciprocate, and maybe they won't, but that's okay, right? And so just show the child as a role model what the holiday is about. If it's being out in the community, whether it's giving gifts, whether it's doing good deeds, whatever it is, they'll see you as a role model, and whatever the other parent does to celebrate and how they want to have their holidays, I guess, is going to be up to them. But hopefully it's a time where people can enjoy each other, enjoy their family, and enjoy the good things of the season.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good role model is when you, even if you're in a moderately conflict divorce or whatever, that, we always say the best interest of the child, right? And whatever the deed is, whatever, I think that's pretty, a good thing to do. It's a good role model for your child, regardless of the children, right? I think it's just a good, because it's not for you, it's for the child. And, most kids love both parents, right? So that's a good thing.
Yeah, so we want to definitely not speak negatively about the other parent.
Yeah.
But keep things simple. You said things can get out of hand, especially with all the decorations and gifts and people coming over. But just try to find the quiet moments, ways that you can celebrate. If you don't have a huge celebration, if it's just you and your child, that's okay too. It's just, there's different ways to celebrate and be thankful for what we do have.
Yeah. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you. Do you have anything you want to, before we wrap up, anything that's coming up that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to work on some pilot programs for group coaching. So if anybody's interested in that for special needs divorce type situations, please reach out to me. I have a private Facebook group that I'm kicking off and will be more involved in. So definitely reach out to me if I can support there. Oh, one thing I want to mention too, thanks for the reminder, is a couple years ago, I put together 25 days of daily tips to get ready for the holidays, including Thanksgiving. And so you can find those on my Instagram and also on my TikTok. And also I put them all together as a playlist on my YouTube channel, and all that is under special family transitions. So some of the things we talked about, plus a whole lot more will be covered there. Some quick little tips. They take just a few seconds each to listen to. So definitely, I think that may give you some people more ideas about things to do, not do, and how to get through the season with less stress and more enjoyment for all the family members.
That's a great resource, right? Because it's quick and you can do it, and I'm sure there's a lot of information there. So if anybody has questions, put in the comment. Otherwise, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas, and we're going to see you in the new year, back for another. And yeah, it was great having you on.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.